Hey everyone, this is John Day from Race Day XE. I am here with Ellen Noble. We are on the Bike Barn Racing track preview ride here for Thunder Mountain. Happy to have you here.
Thank you, happy to be here. This is my first race day and couldn't have picked a better venue.
Awesome, appreciate it. Let's go out there and check out a lap of the Davenport Trucking Thunder XE event.
Let's check it out.
All right, let's do it. All right, we are heading out on a sight lap here at the Davenport Trucking Thunder XE event, and right off the bat the rotation engineering starting line goes right into some downcountry grass track, I guess you'd call it.
This is going to be very fun to watch in some of the bigger categories.
Yeah, I'd imagine this is maybe one of the more exciting parts of the track for sure. Especially if we get a little rain on Saturday or Sunday, I'm sure that grass will be quite slick.
Yes, early morning start, that'll be significant.
So Ellen, most of us here in New England are very familiar. You're one of the most decorated XC racers to ever come out of this region. But for those out there that aren't familiar with you, tell us a little bit about your background and what kind of racing you did as a bicycle racer.
Yeah, I got my start in cross-country mountain biking, and as I got older into high school and college, really focused primarily on cyclocross, which is where I spent the mainstay of my career, but did a few years on the cross-country World Cup circuit, and then I retired temporarily from racing in 2021, and now this is my first year kind of on the comeback.
Right on, right on. Well, everyone loves a good comeback story, so I know I'm excited. I think all of New England's really excited to have you racing in the woods again, and it's cool that this is finally the first time we're gonna see you in a while out racing XC bikes. So
yeah, I can't wait. This is like my home mountain, and to have a high profile XC series feels like this was just perfect timing.
Cool. So as you said, this is your home mountain. So if I'm correct, you grew up in Maine, but now you live out this way?
Yep, I've lived in Western Mass for 10 years with a brief break living in Colorado. Went to school out here and just fell in love with, very similar to Maine, but with even more riding.
Okay. Wow, so you traveled the world racing bicycles, but somehow you must have liked something if you're back here, if you experienced all those different places, but you wound up back here, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's very special out here. I'm excited for all the people who are coming out for this race to get to see the lush magic of Western Mass.
Yeah, this place is pretty lush right now with all that rain this last week. And so this little section of the trail is one of our brand new sections we added, and as you might notice on video, or if not you'll notice this weekend, it kind of weaves around a few condos that are next to Thunder Mountain, and yeah, so we've been calling it the Condo Trail.
Condo Trail.
Yeah, it's we were kind of up against a tough little predicament where everyone wanted XC racing here at,
oops, sorry.
sorry, at everyone wanted XC racing here at Thunder, but for a handful of reasons, it was a little bit logistically just difficult to make an XC course. And we had a few areas where we could kind of, if we wanted to put on this event, we had to make new trails, and this is one of them. So it's brand new, it's packing in pretty quickly, and hopefully it's a trail that people will enjoy from years to come.
Yeah, this is such a fun combination here with the old trails for those of you who are like really familiar with Thunder like I am, but also new things to enjoy, so it doesn't just feel like a pedally enduro. Yeah, for sure. It's cool. Some sections are brand new and you might not even know where you quite are, and then you pop out on a trail that you've seen 100 times. It has a cool feeling to it. Yeah, it's really...
So
really unique in that way.
this is the start of the first of 2 climbs. It is, I would say, probably ranging on your skill level, maybe 3 to 6 minute long climb. So we have 2 climbs on our roughly 3-mile course, and this is the first one.
Yeah, so after a pretty tight, first couple minutes, we're getting to where things are going to spread out. It's going to be easier to pass or potentially pay the price for that early starting effort.
Right on. Yeah, the first section, maybe some adrenaline's in, and then you get to this hill and the adrenaline might wear out a little bit, and it's like, okay, now it's let your legs do the talking. So we're working our way up. For those of you who know Thunder Mountain, the goal of this climb is to make it about a quarter or halfway up the mountain so that we can enjoy the lower section of Cat and Mouse.
The new addition of Mousetrap.
Mousetrap?
Yep.
Okay.
It's where so we're gonna go
Got it.
the bottom half of Cat and Mouse to the new trail as of last season.
Right on. So as Ellen mentioned, this is her home mountain, but she's been here for so many years and also done a lot of work with Thunder, so she knows it really, really well. Better than me.
For now.
For now. Yeah, you really, when you're setting up a race course, you really get to know a lay of the land pretty quick. Yeah. So this is going to be, I would say, the toughest, maybe physically the toughest part of the track. It is a really, really quick but painful punch. And then after that, the second climb is more of a steady climb. So here we go.
The thing with this is it's not so bad the first time or even the second, but an hour or 90 minutes in, you really start to hurt.
Gotcha.
So do you want to try the lines that we did earlier on this section?
Okay. Yep.
So this is the section where you have a little bit of a choice, but whew,
as you can see, Ellen took the fast line. I'm gonna take this outside line that's maybe a little less painful, but as you can see, she took the quicker line, and maybe if you're racing, that might be a good passing opportunity if you're willing to suffer a little more.
But my heart rate's up to 180 now, so it's really a spicy little pass.
All right, it's a nice fun flow. These jumps are really fun on an XC bike.
So as a cyclocross racer, I love this section.
Awesome.
Because these tight turns that lead into each other, you're not just choosing the line through one corner, but you're choosing how it sets you up for the next one.
Got it. And Ellen, you heard about her mountain bike accolades, but she's also a world level talent on the cyclocross bikes too. So we are coming up on the Cannondale corridor and also the Dirt Church launch, one after another. This barn drop is a staple here at Thunder Mountain.
Woo! Oh my God! It's way too easy to blow that corner.
The Cannondale corridor. Rock garden. drop. All right, so there you have it, the Cannondale corridor. I know you're probably tired of hearing me say this, but that is an optional section for anyone watching the video. If they don't want to hit it, they can go around it, and the B line around it we timed yesterday was 12 seconds slower.
Oh, that's so interesting.
Yeah, definitely enough to where you really think twice.
Yeah, like how slowly could you just roll the corridor versus kind of ripping through the grass?
I know it, and even that section maybe is a little bit too steep to run something, but the thought crossed my mind the other day where how much quicker or slower would it be if you still hit a Cannondale corridor, but like cyclocross, picked up your bike and just ran through it?
Because it's short.
Right.
Although, as a cyclocross racer myself, I never want to see people running with their mountain bikes.
It just seems like a sin.
It is, yeah.
This section right here is just a beautiful section, reminding you that you're on a ski resort. Spring is in full effect here. Grass is growing. Really, really cool. And like Ellen said, just an awesome time of year to be here at Thunder. Thunder Mountain, their opening day for the park is next weekend, so kind of a cool little start to the season for them before gravity kind of opens up here. Ellen, the World Cups, how long were the climbs in those races typically?
Anywhere to up to 6 or 7 minutes, I think. But sometimes, shorter. It kind of depends on, the venue, of course. So
Right.
Nova Mesto is one of the more famous races that has several, like, shorter handful of minutes.
Okay.
But there's multiple of them.
Yep.
Whereas racing in Alberstadt or in Andorra, it was really like 2 long, distinct climbs, steep. In Andorra, you kind of just go straight up the mountain on one side, descend, straight up the backside of the mountain, descend. So that's the fun thing about the World Cups is there's so much variety. But
Right. And those two you last mentioned, those were at altitude, or are those?
Andorra's not. Andorra's in Germany, so
Okay.
not at altitude. But sorry, did I say Andorra or Alberstadt?
Thought you said both.
So Alberstadt's in Germany. I don't know which one I just said, but
Okay.
Andorra is at altitude. It's very high.
Gotcha.
And you have to take a gondola up.
Yeah, so this is the second climb I was talking about. We're about halfway through it. This is more of a steady climb that you can just kind of lay some steady watts down the whole way. And honestly, the second half, I know on race day it probably won't be that much fun, but right now it's pretty fun because you can get some momentum on these rollers.
Yeah, this is a very pleasant climb where you're gaining elevation, but it's not super steep. It's going to be one of my favorite things racing, for myself personally, but also watching other racers, is how they pace different sections.
Yep.
So there's a lot of different ways to break up this course, but with some really steep punches on the first half and then a long gradual climb on the second half.
Yeah.
So many different ways to do it, and a lot of ways to do it wrong, to pace it very wrong.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm sure watching this video, it might not even look like a climb right now, but we are climbing.
Yeah, let me see if I have a grade on here. It says we're at 7% right now.
Okay.
So
That's legit. Yeah, and shout out to the Thunder Mountain trail crew, because next week this is going to be a downhill, and they have this place pruned, trimmed, packed, you name it. It's like a work of art right now. So pretty cool and pretty special that we get to go use their trails.
Yeah, so this is the green trail at Thunder. So this is where any beginners coming to the mountain for the first time, or younger riders, or people who just want a pleasant little lap. This is called Sugar Line.
Cool. Yeah, and that kind of leads into a cool fact is when we were laying out this course, it's no slight to the park. We wanted to use a lot more of the park, but honestly, a lot of it is just too steep to climb up. And if we were to climb to the top of it, it would probably be, you know, the lap length would be way too long. So we settled on using this green trail as a climb, and that last first punchy one as the first climb, and that got us access to a lot of the mountain that I think people will be excited to use. But no doubt there's a lot of really other nice trails out here that people can come back and enjoy once the park opens.
Yeah, I mean, I don't envy your job trying to pick out what trails to use here, but I think you did a very, very good job.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Ooh, that section was soft.
A little bit of water running down the mountain.
It was like clay.
So, since you mentioned that, and we were talking about how fun the trails are, here is a trail that, depending on what kind of routing you like, is pretty technical and pretty demanding. Wilderness.
Is this on Wilderness, or did you guys just make this?
This section is on Wilderness.
Oh, you know what? I actually just recognized it, but I didn't recognize it from the first lap.
And here is where we turn off of Wilderness. And this is made by our crew this week.
So Wilderness is the kind of one of the more famous trails that they use for the Thunder Mountain Enduro.
Okay, got it.
It's long, it's like a 13-minute stage.
Okay.
So cross-country racers like myself are always very excited when we get to the pedally stage.
Right.
I'm curious about jumping off that. This section is so fun because there's still a lot of it's very physically demanding. So although it's a descent, you still need your wits about you after that long climb.
Absolutely. And right now it's rolling pretty good, but we got a lot of rain here Thursday night, and we might get a little bit more. And I think if that does come true, you'll really have to put your thinking cap on going down that trail.
That section's so fun because there are some very fast bonus lines and a lot of ways to like survive it.
Yep.
But there's some really good, you know, luck favoring the bold sort of sections here.
Yeah, you can definitely make up a lot of time down that, or lose a lot of time. This is some of that fresh trail that we added in. Super loamy right now. And now normally we wouldn't try to add a bunch of loamy trail a month prior to the event, but because it's down country, loam is definitely welcome. And the climbs are all nice and solid, existing trail.
It's nice. It's more loam than just fresh cut kind of slog, you know. It feels really nice and ridden in to the point that it's very fun.
All right, getting some real speed going now. Slippery little bridge. This next trail has a nice scenic view for those that are here on a joyride. The river to our left.
I saw a mama and 2 bear cubs on this trail last year.
I don't know if that's good or a bad thing.
I don't know, it kind of depends on where you're standing.
Yeah, it depends if you're going up or down it. All right, Ellen, tell us a little bit about the bike you're on right now and what it's going to be set up like on Sunday.
Oh yeah, well, I can tell you, so this is the Salsa Spearfish ELX.
Okay.
So it's brand new to me. I only have maybe 5 hours or so on it so far. So I can tell you that how it's going to be set up on Sunday is pretty different from how it's set up right now. But it's a 120 super fast cross-country race bike. Salsa just released this at Sea Otter this year.
Okay, yeah, that's brand new.
Yeah, it's brand new. It's absolutely phenomenal. It's one of the nicest bikes I've ever had. It has transmission and flight attendant, which I have a lot to learn about, but so far I'm super impressed with it. And yeah, it's just super cool to have. I've been riding for Salsa for 3 years, and it feels like every year they just have the bike that I need the most. You know, I've had really fun enduro trail bikes, gravel adventure bikes, and then all of a sudden this year, with just coincidentally all this cross-country energy has been happening, and they create the fastest cross-country bike they've ever made.
Yeah, talk about timing. That's
yeah,
awesome.
It's very serendipitous.
So this is the first time you race this bike this Sunday?
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, this is still one of my first real rides on it. Still getting it set up and cut the bars down a bit and playing with my position, but.
Right on. And now a lot of us following you, we know that this is the first time you're racing in the woods this year, but you raced, what was it, 2 weeks ago on the gravel bike?
Yeah, same weekend as Belltown.
Okay.
I did a gravel race.
How'd that go for you?
It went really well. It was it's always the first race of our season, and it adds a lot of nice structure. And took some time off after to recover, and
sure.
Now I feel super fit. So I'm actually welcoming the climbs here for the first time in a long time.
How long was that gravel race?
It was 60 miles, so it was 3 hours-ish.
Yep. Right on. And for those watching, this Sunday, the pros, including Ellen, will be shooting for about an hour and a half.
I like that distance.
Yeah.
A lot more.
It's definitely a bit more spicy, but definitely a bit more exciting too.
I love spice. The spicier, the better.
Yep. Awesome. So we're out of the woods, and the last, I would say, minute or two is some pretty steady pedaling. Time to kind of regroup, maybe grab a drink, grab a gel, and we're coming back to the base of the mountain here, where we'll have our finish set up prior to race day, but the finish is going to end about 60 feet to my left, and then if it's the last lap, that's where you'll end. You'll be able to grab food or drink, see your friends and family here at Crazy Horse Bar and Grill. Hopefully they'll be over there enjoying themselves. You can see that we kind of come back to this area several times throughout the lap so that your friends and family can see you multiple times. And then eventually, if you have more laps, you'll splice back into the track right there. We'll have a little outlet that we'll build tomorrow. So there you have it, one complete lap here at the Davenport Trucking Thunder XC event. And a big thanks to Bike Barn for sponsoring this track preview video at every round. So thank you, Ellen, for coming on out for a lap. And
here, we'll get a cool high five on the camera.
all right, awesome.